Hello, 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 professionals. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. Today I'm having professional lunch with Richard WainWright. Richard is an engineer for 38 years. I cannot wait to see everything that Richard had to say about his experiences for this time. Now, I'm going to give Richard a chance to introduce himself and will tell us what he does. Richard, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
Great. Thank you, Rico. As you introduced me, I've been doing electrical engineering for 38 years now. Over my career, I've worked for the automotive industry, the aerospace industry, and now the agriculture and construction industry. And so over the 38 years, I've had a lot of great experiences, worked for many outstanding companies, and learned a lot of different experiences and nuances of each of those areas. How automotive is different than military, and military is different than construction and agriculture, and then some of the same common basics that exist in all those fields. And so my career journey has taken me through the course of living in many states, but it's been exciting to see how electronic technology has just become more and more involved with kind of touching everyday systems, especially in the transportation type related industries.
Wow, very, very nice. So, Richard, was engineering something that you've always wanted to do since you were a kid, or was it something that you get tucked into when you were in school, or by a teacher, or by your parents?
I've always been interested in science, and so as a kid, I was always into science fiction and entered science fairs with some friends of mine that were also likewise interested in science. So I've always had a leaning towards that way, but I think what got me specifically interested in electronics was my father, when I was young, was building his own stereo equipment, and so he'd buy these kits where he'd sit down and solder all the resistors and components together in a board, and built a whole stereo system that way. And I just watched him and just enjoyed seeing him take a bunch of pieces of parts, capacitors, resistors, and things, and make something that actually functioned and made music.
Wow.
And so that kind of planted the seed. And then later on, I thought I was going to be interested in being a physicist. And so when I was in college, that was actually my focus, was physics. And but as I got into more advanced physics, I realized that my interest more was not in theoretical things as much as what I really enjoyed was the application of the physics, and basically trying to solve a problem. And so likewise, I kind of got little by little got into more and more deeper engineering, and over time through my experiences, I got more focused specifically in the area of power electronics or other areas of electronics.
Wow. So you talk about solving problems, and which is a very big, an important part of our everyday life. Do you get to solve a lot of problems in your field, in your career?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's part of the joy of it, is the creativity. Just as a musician likes to compose and create music that people enjoy, one of the things is being confronted with a problem and saying, okay, we need ways to move something from point A to point B more efficiently. One of the first opportunities I had to kind of do that was when I first started working as an engineer for General Motors. Worked on a project for Corvette, and so I actually was able to build a device that went on the front of a Corvette, and actually take it for a drive. And so there was just a kind of a reward of taking a concept from something that was just in your mind and on a piece of paper, designing it, building it, installing it on an actual product like a car, and then actually driving it and seeing your work in use.
Wow, that must be really exciting, Richard. So, how did you feel about that? I mean, accomplishing such something like that.
Over the years, it's been a lot of fun, and there's of course frustrations like any field and things as companies try and prioritize programs and things like that. And some programs you'll be in the midst of it and they get canceled. But overall, again, the whole idea is you're given a challenge, and you're allowed to a great extent to use your creativity to say, okay, what is the right what's the latest devices that are now available, uh, how other approaches are, and then become part of a team. Because anything that's created in engineering is not ever really created by a single person. You got electrical engineers that work closely with mechanical engineers, that work closely with material engineers and program managers, and it really takes a team effort to bring a concept into a product. And then the other part is when it gets into production and you see the customer's response to that. It's very rewarding when you get feedback saying how this has made my life safer, or this has made my life more productive and more efficient because of this technology that you've introduced to me.
Wow, very cool, very cool. Yeah, you mentioned the importance, the value of teamwork. And do you, how would you rate your team right now? Are you working with a great team?
Yes, I am. Over time, I was, the first few years, I was a team member that supported a lot of the activities for under the leadership of someone that's been more experienced. Now the roles have kind of reversed after 38 years, and I'm now a lead engineer on programs, and so I'm the one that basically works very closely with a program manager, pulls together a team, and finding the right talent for a specific program, and then basically working with systems engineers on capturing requirements, and then basically working with younger engineers and mentoring them and how to design some of the new circuits that go into fulfilling this mission that we're trying to achieve.
Wow, very cool. So, what does a day at work look like for Richard?
Typically, start out first thing in the morning, and of course, check your emails, which there always seems to be
Yes.
a lot of, and part of the job is basically bridging the various needs. You have a lot of suppliers and vendors that have lots of questions as you're working with them to apply their product, and sometimes there's a lot of communications on how to use their new integrated circuit or their new power device correctly. Yeah, there's some idiosyncrasies that they know that you don't know, and so you do a lot of time with meetings with suppliers, and then you meet on a regular basis with your team. You basically work closely with your program manager and following your budgets and schedules, and work with the plant folks on scheduling when you're about ready to build your prototypes. And then you're working with CAD folks on mechanical drawings and printed circuit board drawings. So you spend a lot of time in reviewing layouts and a lot of interaction with a lot of different people. You touch a lot of people, and a lot of people touch you in this creativity cycle.
Wow, very, very cool. Now we're gonna take a little pause because this is professional lunch. We're gonna take a pause here so that we can enjoy our food, and then after that, we're gonna come back. And when we come back, I will ask Richard to tell me about some of the things that he loved about engineering. The reason for that is to motivate a young student right now who's thinking about going to engineering school so that they can have something to look forward to as they go on.